I'm Mutaz Majdoub, and today I want to share my thoughts on a documentary I recently watched on YouTube titled End of the Road: How Money Became Worthless by Best Documentary. It's a thought-provoking exploration of the weaknesses within the global financial system, and I believe it's relevant to the state of the global economy today. Before I dive into the video, I would like to introduce you to a blockchain project I'm co-founding called GGEZ1. The projects aim to create cryptocurrency backed by tangible real-world assets, specifically assets related to the sustainability industry, such as clean energy production, sustainable farming, and other green infrastructure. The project mission is to turn sustainability assets into real investment opportunities on Web3, the next evolution of the internet. Now, back to the video. The documentary explores the history of the modern monetary policies, starting with the United States' 1971 decision to abandon the gold standard. It argues that this move transformed the global financial system into a debt-driven pyramid scheme, perpetually dependent on increasing borrowing to remain functional. The result? Chronic inflation, lowering standard of living, and a monetary framework that appears to rely on the continuous creation of money out of thin air. These investigations offer valuable insights to anyone seeking to understand the roots of today's economic challenges. Why do I think the video is worth watching? First, it pushes us to examine the stability of the global financial system, something many of us take for granted. This documentary shines a light on the vulnerabilities of the fiat currencies worldwide, which are increasingly facing the pressures of accelerating inflation. It also underscores the dangers of debt-driven growth model, which is driving most economies around the world and is steering the global financial system toward a tipping point, which will trigger another major global crisis. This video is a wake-up call for anyone concerned about the futures of the global economy. The documentary presents several key conclusions. First, excessive money printing. The relentless printing of fiat currencies is driving global hyperinflation, eroding trust in government-issued money, lowering the standard of living, and diminishing life savings for hundreds of millions of people. As the purchasing power of currencies like the US dollar continues to decline, it's creating a widespread economic instability and ultimately threatening the global financial system. Debt-driven growth trap. Governments are trapped in a cycle of ever-increasing debt, using borrowing to fund economic growth. This approach is fundamentally unsustainable, as new debt is used to repay old debt while financing current obligations. This creates a dangerous loop where stopping or slowing borrowing collapses the system. As a result, the only viable short-term option is to continue borrowing, effectively pushing the problem into the future. However, eventually, the system will reach a breaking point, leading to a certain economic collapse. 3. Gold as a solution. The documentary advocates returning to a gold-backed currency as means of restoring fiscal responsibility. A gold-backed system imposes discipline on governments by tying currency issuance to gold reserves. This prevents excessive money printing, enforces budgetary constraints, and reduces the likelihood of reckless monetary policies, which means fostering long-term economic stability and trust. While the video makes a compelling case for returning to a gold-backed system, I have several observations and reservations that I would like to share. The video indirectly promotes companies that trade gold and silver, encouraging viewers to invest in these metals as a way to promote themselves against inflation. This is a valid point on an individual level. Investing in gold can be a sensible hedge. However, on a systematic level, returning to a gold-backed system is not a viable solution for addressing the financial and economic challenges we face today. Why gold is not an option in today's economy? Between 1970 and 2023, the global economy expanded from 3 trillion to 105 trillion, a staggering 3,400% increase. In contrast, the total amount of gold available today grew from approximately 85,000 metric tons in 1970 to about 225,000 metric tons, a modest 165% increase. It's also important to note that a significant portion of this gold is used for jewelry rather than as a reserve asset. If the US dollar had remained linked to gold during the period of unprecedented global economic growth, we would have faced severe deflation instead of inflation. A gold-backed system in a rapidly expanding global economy would have caused severe deflation, where the value of money would constantly rise due to a limiting gold supply. This would stifle economic growth discourage borrowing and investing, and lead to a prolonged economic stagnation. Simply put it, gold can't scale to meet the demands of a modern, dynamic global economy. The video attributes the majority of the financial problems to the 1971 delinking of the US dollar from gold. While this was a pivotal moment, the video fails to address other critical factors. For instance, the petrodollar arrangement, which actually strengthened the dollar dominance and played a significant role in the shaping of the global monetary system. Also, deregulatory policies, such as the repeal of the Glass-Steagall Act, allowed financial institutions to take excessive risks, contributing to systematic instability. These factors, among others, have had a profound impact on the current state of the financial system and cannot be overlooked. Another fundamental issue with using gold as a reserve asset is that it sits idle in storage facilities, generating no economic output. While gold preserves value, it does not generate an economic output or actively contribute to an economic growth or innovation. This is a critical limitation in addressing the challenges of modern economy. Rather than returning to a gold-backed system, currencies could be linked to or backed by real-world assets that generate economic output. Ideally, these assets should produce something fundamental to the economy, such as energy. For instance, backing currencies with assets like land utilized for solar or wind energy production could provide both stability and growth potential. These types of assets not only preserve the value but actively contribute to the economy, aligning monetary system with essential infrastructure and sustainable development. This approach ensures that reserves assets are dynamic, productive, and closely tied to a real economy. This brings me to our project, GGEZ1, and the concept we call the ReFi cryptocurrency. Advancements in blockchain, Web3, and real-world asset tokenization have enabled the creation of cryptocurrency backed by tangible, productive assets. Web3 provides a decentralized and transparent infrastructure, allowing for the secure and efficient digitalization of real-world assets. Tokenization further enhances the value of these assets by making them accessible and tradable on a global scale. This combination have paved the way for a new class of cryptocurrency that are not just speculative investments or instruments, but also directly tied to assets with real value and contribute to a real economic output. Now, let's connect this with the ReFi cryptocurrency we're working on. First, let me explain what ReFi stands for: regenerative finance. It's a concept that integrates financial system with environment and social sustainability. Unlike traditional finance, which often prioritizes profit above all else, ReFi aims to restore and regenerative ecosystems, supporting communities and enhancing economies. We're developing a cryptocurrency called the ReFi coin. This cryptocurrency will be backed by sustainability-focused real-world assets. Examples of such assets include renewable energy infrastructure like solar and wind farms, sustainable agriculture projects that promote eco-friendly farming practices, and waste management and recycling systems that reduce environmental impact. These assets not only serve as a stable collateral but also generate economic output, align with global sustainability goals, and appreciate over time. Unlike gold, which often sits idle in vaults, these assets actively contribute to economic growth and environmental progress. I believe sustainability assets are poised to become the new oil, essential for driving economic growth and resilience in the 21st century. So instead of relying on assets that merely sit and do nothing, why not leverage these that grow, innovate, and provide tangible benefits to society? The ReFi coin embodies this vision, a bridge between financial stability and sustainability. Historically, we've transitioned from gold-backed currencies to the petrodollar. Now, I believe sustainable energy assets are the next logical step, becoming the best collateral for the money of the future. I highly recommend watching End of the Road: How Money Became Worthless to understand the flaws in the current financial system and how Web3 and projects like GGEZ1 are rethinking the future of money. But I also want to hear from you. Do you think we're heading towards a major market meltdown this year? Or will the system hold steady? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about Web3, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency trading, and investing, plus to follow the GGEZ1 startup journey I'm co-founding, then please follow us on social media. Next week, I'll be releasing a new video on the investment strategies of Howard Marks, widely considered one of the greatest investors of all time. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one.